Good morning, colleagues. I'm Jiahui from English Department, and welcome to my sharing providing feedback in one-to-one classrooms. Here's an outline of what I will be talking about today. We will first set the context before exploring 4 approaches that support the giving of feedback in one-to-one or blended learning classrooms. To set some context, let's talk a bit about LeCat and AFL and how they connect with each other. According to the LeCat framework, there are 7 key applications of technology in the ICT-supported classroom. Assessment for learning is one of the CATs. And when we dive in deeper, we can think of AFL in 3 stages: where the learner is going, where the learner is now, and how to get there. Now, if we look at the strategies that support these 3 stages, we will realize that giving feedback is a huge part of AFL. So today, I hope to provide something of value to you by helping you to enhance your AFL approaches using technology, particularly in the area of providing feedback. First, I want to say that even though I love blended learning and digital assignments, nothing quite beats the Red Pen experience that every bona fide teacher knows and loves. Now, luckily, there are platforms that help to equip teachers with the mighty Red Pen, albeit in the digital form. First, we need a tablet that runs either iOS or Android. A stylus is also necessary to mimic the pen experience. We will also need to download and install the Google Classroom app from the App Store or Play Store. The app version is actually quite different from the browser version. Next, tap on the squiggly line icon on the bottom right-hand corner. Now you will realize that you can freely annotate or mark your students' work. Once done, tap on the blue button to save. Over here, I have an assignment that I marked using the tablet. As you can see, is sent back to the student in the form of a PDF document. Okay, for those of us who don't have an iOS or Android tablet, the next 2 approaches might be helpful to you. Even though we like annotating on our students' work with red ink, there are actually other ways to provide feedback. Depending on the needs of your students, providing interactive feedback using Seesaw Class could benefit them. Its target users include very young children, so it's fairly easy to create accounts with your students. Seesaw allows students to submit work in different forms and create individual portfolios, so feel free to explore what you can do with Seesaw Class. Besides the pen tool that allows us to freely mark and annotate, we also have access to many other tools such as Draw and Record, which is this one over here, which allows us to instantly create a screen recording on the student's work. A quick demo of how it looks like to mark on Seesaw Class. Okay, here's a situational writing piece by my student. Now, to give feedback is really simple. Just click on the tool and you can just go ahead. This is a little bit thick, but it's already the thinnest. Okay, just circle the errors. For me, I'm circling all the capitalization errors. And if let's say I want to really help out my student, I want to make sure that he or she stops making this mistake, I can actually try a Draw and Record. Hello student, I noticed that you've been making quite a lot of capitalization errors, so you really want to take note of it. For example, this one should be capital letter, this should be capital letter, this also should be capital letter, and so on. So remember, capital letters are for proper nouns, so please work on this. Okay, so you can listen to your recording. Hello student, I noticed that you've been making quite a lot of capitalization errors, so you really want to take. And if you're very happy with it, you can just click the button. Here's a quick tip. Many of us are already using Loom to record lessons, so perhaps we can also consider using Loom to record feedback and share the link with students via the private comments box. Next, let me introduce a versatile method to convert your regular worksheets to digital board assignments that not only gives us more options in providing feedback, but also the ability to do all of that live. The tool that we'll be using is Google Jamboard. So this is almost like a hack that I accidentally discovered by myself. If you use Google Classroom a lot, you will realize that it is impossible to create and assign Jamboards from Google Classroom directly. As you can see here, there's no Jamboard option here. But I found a workaround to not only assign Google Jamboard on Classroom, but also make individual copies for each student. First, create a new Jamboard on Google Drive instead. Next, click Set Background. Later, I'll give you some ideas on what you can set. You can leave it blank if you intend to use it for mind mapping or brainstorming purposes. Okay, back at Google Classroom, use Add Google Drive file and find your Jamboard. And remember to make a copy for each student. And here's a quick demo on Jamboard. Now I'm going to demonstrate how you can convert a regular worksheet or a past year paper that your department already has into a Jamboard assignment. So over here, I have a comprehension exercise. The easiest way to do it is to use the screenshot tool on Windows, which is Snip and Sketch. And for me, I'm just going to take question 5. Of course, I can take question 5 and 6, but I think I want to give my students more space. So I grab this section and I click save. Okay, then I'll just say this is question 5. Going back to the Jamboard, I set the background as the screenshot that I took just now, question 5. On the student's end, they can easily insert their answers on your template, okay, like so. And for the teachers, it's also rather easy to just provide a feedback, just mark if you like. Or you can use this sticky note as well. Now, the great thing about Jamboard is that you can just add more slides. So let's say I want to, also include question 6, question 7, question 8. All I need to do is just, do the same steps on the following slides. Okay, so here's a biology example. Okay, let's say I happen to know the answer. I think this is the answer. I cannot really recall. Yeah, so okay, let's say okay, the student got all the answers correct. You can even insert a sticker for the student using the image function. Okay, and of course you can keep marking. And I have a maths example over here. I'm using a mouse right now, but I think it's much better for students to just use a stylus, and I think it will work perfectly fine on their PLDs. So I don't know if I'm right, but if let's say I'm right, then all the teacher needs to do is to just do this. And then if you want to insert a sticker, what you can do is make a folder just for your stickers. Okay, just make a folder just for all these stickers, and then you can just insert it if you really want to affirm your student. All right, the last tool I want to introduce is called Floop. Now, Floop makes peer assessment really easy and engaging. Now, it's very easy to create a new class on Floop. I didn't have any issues guiding my students to join my Floop classroom. So similar to Google Classroom, all that we need to do is to create the assignment with all the instructions and all other materials. Okay, what I've realized is that upload from Drive, this particular function doesn't really work with our students' MOE accounts. So I recommend using upload image or PDF. Simply instruct your students to download their work from Google Classroom as PDF or take a screenshot from anywhere else and upload it here. Okay, once you have multiple submissions, just click Run Peer Review. Adjust some settings and assignments will be pushed out to each student to review based on a feedback focus that you have set. Over here it says none, but I think it's a glitch because I clearly set a feedback focus. It worked fine on the students' end. Yeah, it really facilitated the whole process, and as you can see, a lot of feedback was given, and therefore a lot of feedback was also received.